We will now cross over to Gitanga Road, where the LSK President Eric Theuri is currently speaking on the proposed economic tax amendment. Let's take a listen.
The role of the government to support the society, the economic, and provide public service. Our memorandum to the National Assembly Finance Committee raises concerns with over 22 proposed amendments in the Finance Bill 2022. We find those to be problematic and which, if enacted as proposed, will make the country highly unattractive as a business destination, increase the levels of unemployment, encourage the use of substandard or illegal products, and ultimately lead to increased levels of insecurity. Among the proposals that we have highlighted are the proposals that remove unga from the list of goods that are zero-rated. This essentially means that the price of unga will increase as it will now be subjected to VAT at 16%. We have also picked out proposals that seek to increase VAT on clothes and equipment used for safety and protection by hospitals and clinics, which is a measure that again will make those items expensive and affect the health of Kenyans. The proposals would also introduce an unreasonable degree of unpredictability with regard to the levels of tax rates. This unpredictability is against the principles of fiscal responsibility contained in the Public Finance Management Act. The proposals would also impede the right to fair administrative action and amount to apportioning of guilt before the parties involved in a tax dispute can have an opportunity to prove their innocence. The proposals that any person challenging a tax assessment must deposit 50% of the disputed amounts before filing a case in court is not only unconstitutional, is also retrogressive, and is intended to impede access to justice. We find it interesting that the same proposal does not apply to the Kenya Revenue Authority when it is the one seeking to challenge the decision in court. This therefore gives KRA preferential treatment before the law and is unconstitutional. The proposals also would make locally manufactured finished goods for export more expensive and uncompetitive, and this will in turn negatively affect foreign exchange earnings and balance of trade in Kenya and our ability to import goods that we rely on to run and generate income in our economy. The Law Society notes that while the objects of the Finance Bill indicate that the provisions are meant to increase the government's revenue collection, the inverse would actually be achieved if the bill is to be implemented as it is. There would be an increase in unemployment, businesses would be killed, the poor and vulnerable Kenyans would be exposed to illegal products and precipitate criminal activities due to the government's unilateral focus on increasing revenue collection. The government seems to have lost sight of expanding the tax base and protecting the vulnerable groups in society, those whose incomes are below the minimum wage and who are heavily impacted by the current increase in cost of living and who are certainly going to be negatively impacted if Parliament passes the Finance Bill 2020 in its current form. The unpredictability introduced by the Finance Bill will make Kenya as a country unfavorable to investors.